Hello, beautiful humans. It is so good to see you. Happy Monday. Got that Monday energy going on, which means wake up and get it going. Been doing lots of fun stuff, lots of paperwork, lots of phone calls. That is how this day goes. And just sending you guys lots of love, no matter whether you are an essential worker heading out, if you're working from home, if all of a sudden you're a teacher now too, like all of that stuff, I am sending you all of that love. So this is one of those times to really, inside of an old paradigm, this is a time that we would naturally rev up. But my invitation, getting a phone call at the same time, not going to work. I lost my thought with that phone call. Oh, so living from the old paradigm of the way that things used to go is that this would be a good time to rev up and rush and hustle. And this is actually an opportunity to settle down, to settle in, to kind of look around. So one of my favorite exercises is that when there's chaos or things seem crazy, it's to do a freeze frame in my mind, like a movie scene where you literally pause. And it's like when someone's having this like epiphany and the scene freezes, but the main character can still move. And so they're like looking around, they can stare someone right in the face because that person's frozen, or they can like look at the whole scene and really receive it all, right? So this time of being at home and all the disruption is a beautiful opportunity to freeze frame everything and slow down and look around your life and see what you want to keep in your life, see what could go, see what's not serving you, see what bringing in might support you, right? So this is that time to slow down. Because when we do that, when we afford ourselves that opportunity, then you can really do work where you're choosing your life. You're not just letting someone else dictate it or tell you what to do, how to be, when to be, where to be. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful chance. That is part of why I think it's so valuable at this moment to have a 6-day writing challenge. This is a chance to actually slow down. Even though there's that natural anxiety of like, how's this going to go? What's going to happen? That is just our addiction to control, our addiction to predictability and security and comfort. But if you can be okay, if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable, then there's this new opportunity to see the silver lining, to see the blessings in this situation, right? So one of the blessings in this situation is very likely you do have some more time, you have some more clarity, you have some more time to settle in and think. Now, a lot of people don't like more time to settle in and think because that's when trying to get rid of this blurriness again, that's when we don't want to hear what shows up in the silence, because our thoughts, our repressed thoughts, memories, fears, insecurities start to show up. And why am I talking about all this? Because that's the stuff we ignore that blocks us from our success. And so it's very important to be willing to be with our scary stuff, to be willing to be with the thoughts that come up in the silence and the stillness. Because you guys, none of it will kill you. It might scare you, but none of it will kill you. It might make you uncomfortable, but none of it will kill you. And so the important part is to recognize that if you be with it, you can be with it. All right. So from here, once you're able to be with and move past the scary stuff, which, by the way, one last thing about that is I have been hosting Creating Calm calls every Wednesday, and this Wednesday we have it again at noon and 5 Pacific, so you can sign up for those. I can drop the link, but I've been hosting those so that you can move past your scary stuff, to clear all of that so you can actually garner so many valuable lessons that are available at this time to you. Okay? So beyond all that, let's move that over to the side, because I've been wanting people to understand what's in the way of them actually achieving their goals and their dreams and turning their dreams into their reality, is that your ego stuff comes up, your fears come up, the goblins come up, right? And you are stronger than all of those. So now that you are, right, Congrats, you're strong now. You're stronger than all of those. It's time to start doing what you know to do, what you're passionate to do. And those of you who have been showing up for this writer's challenge, you are willing and ready to move past any challenge or deep dark thought, shadow work. Like, you're integrating that so that you can actually move past it and start sharing your gifts and talents and owning who you are as a leader in this world, owning your mission and your message. And so that's what we're going to do today for the rest of this live. So let's jump in. Create accountability was yesterday. Today's challenge is to talk about your book. Now you may say, well, what the hell have we been doing the last 3 days? You've been talking about writing a book. You've been talking about becoming an author. You've been talking about a passion that you have, but now we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty. We are going to talk about the actual book that you're actually going to write. Now, I completely understand that this is where we get the scaries again. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, I have to actually say what the book is about. That's the challenge. Now, a challenge is a challenge. I am inviting you to stretch yourself. So you have to recognize where you are and be where you are and take the next right step. Titan, accepting your challenge. Thank you, sir. So here's a very valuable lesson. Now, this is about this book and this is about life. So anybody who's just watching, being a spectator, this is a great lesson for anybody. Be where you are. If you don't know every detail of your book, that is perfect. But today's assignment, today's challenge is to write a synopsis of your book. Write the book summary. What would someone read on the back of your book if they picked it up off the shelf and said, okay, I want this book. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to pay money for your book, right? What would they actually read that this book is about? And so if you don't know, you might be at a level 1, 2, or 3 of development, meaning you want to write, but you're not too sure. That's okay too. Just be willing to recognize that you are in somewhere in the development, the gradient of 1, 2, or 3. A 10 would be someone who's clear about their book. They have the summary written. They're already sharing it. They're putting it out there. They're writing their book, right? That's level 10 production right now. And so down the scale, maybe around 7 is they have a really good idea, but they've never written a book summary. So it's kind of like weird. So you're only going to go one step up. So if you're at a 5 and you've got a good idea, but you're still sorting it out, sort it out some more. And in any sense, the challenge is to write a book synopsis, right? I would love for it to be your book synopsis, but the reason I say a is because I have written book synopsis, or I've come up with titles of books that I have no intention of writing right now, but I have written them down. And so whatever comes out of you first is great. It's fine. It's perfect. It's wonderful. So let that stuff come out of you, because one of my favorite tips is what there is to do next sits behind what you're procrastinating doing. What there is to do next exists behind what you are not doing or avoiding doing. So you have to do some of these things that you're avoiding. You may say, Abigail, I just don't know what my book is about. I can't write the synopsis. I've quit. I'm not doing this challenge anymore. That's okay. I'm still going to invite you to do it and push past your fears or whatever's freaking out right now. So come up with something. If you wrote a book, if you wrote one of your 5 books that you might write in your life, right? What will one of the synopsises be? It's not set in stone. This is an exercise to stretch you. That's me. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. Yes, perfect, Sharon. So that's the whole point, is to stretch yourself to consider. Crept out one last night, a couple of ideas, good. So get these ideas on paper and start to separate, because I have definitely, you guys, I have had book ideas, and then when I get them down on paper, I'm like, well, this is too far off topic for this book, so I'm gonna take this piece out and I'm gonna put it over here, and it will probably make sense somewhere later, right? So then I just keep that same book on the same track, keeping it in the same lane, and then I will leave other pieces for later. So this is why, you guys, you're authors now. This is why journaling is so valuable. And part of, I already talked to one of the people who've registered into the course to say, start gathering all of your writing materials, anything you have saved on your computer, anything that you've written into journals and notebooks. Start to gather all those things, because you're going to flip through those one day and you'll be like, that's what that download was about. Oh my God, that makes so much sense. It's a perfect chapter right here. And so you will develop some of your already writing, right? So, but today, I digress. I'm really in it on this one. Write a book synopsis. I would love for it to be the one that you're going to write, but if you don't know that yet, it's okay. Start to get a few ideas on paper and then pick one and expand upon it. So this is one that if you're feeling uncomfortable, like, right, meet yourself where you are and stretch yourself. If you want to email it to me, you can email heartsunleashed.com if you want to keep that private, because it's like scary, or you think it's going to change that much and you don't want to put that out yet. That's okay. That's fine. My publisher knows more details about lots of my books than y'all do. Right? It's natural, because we're getting into the work. So if you're really sure, if you're like up in like the 7, 8s, and 9s and you know your book and you're ready to start, sharing it, you guys have followed me in my journey. I've talked about this in one of the other challenge days, is that's what people love. Bring them along for your journey. So if you're pretty clear about it, it can change, but you can also share what your book's about, or the idea of your book is like, so I'm an author, I'm writing a book, and this is the idea that I have for it, and you can share that. If you share it publicly, definitely tag me, because I am keeping score. So far, I've got Sharon participating in all 3 days, Amber all 3 days, Maggie all 3 days, Sarah all 3 days, and then Titan, I have you for day 2, but I haven't seen the other day 1 and day 3. So just want to make sure you guys are tagging me. And then if we have anybody who wants to jump in and catch up, by all means, you can hustle through the challenge days to get caught up with us. So having a lot of fun with this. And so one tip, you may start to feel like, well, I'm not an author and I don't know how to write a book synopsis. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Go read the backs of 10 books. Go Google how to, or use DuckDuckGo, DuckDuckGo.com, I think, which is another search engine. But do that and look up how to write the back of a book, how to write a book synopsis, a summary, right? It's not hard. Your ego will let you think it's hard. And this is very likely where imposter syndrome is going to start coming up. So with the idea of imposter syndrome is, I've never done this before. People are going to know I've never done this before. The first time you do anything, you are an imposter. You don't know what to do or how to do it, but you try it, you learn some things, and then you make an adjustment. So you can totally do it, but just push past the barriers. I love the idea of be bigger than your barriers. Okay, so you've got this. Tag me. Make sure to hashtag 6-Day Writers Challenge. Write that summary of your book. Feel free to email it to me at heartsunleashed.com, or you can shoot it up here on Facebook and then tag me, and I'll celebrate you out loud too. So you guys are doing amazing work. If this is inspiring you, or if you're new to this challenge and you want to participate, just go back on my news feed and watch that, or tag other authors that are inspired and haven't heard of this challenge yet. Okay, thank you guys so much. Love you. I will see you tomorrow.